If you're chilling in the city thinking what to do, Philly Fans Podcast is for you. Every week in Philly there's something new, and Kev, Key, and Eric know what to do. If you're riding in the city thinking what to do, Philly Fans Podcast is for you. Ryan with the in-depth Sixers review, and we can't forget about Carson too.
Every week there is something new in Philadelphia, and the past week and a half is no exception. Welcome to the Philly Fans Podcast. This is Kevin.
And Eric, how are you? It's nuts out there.
Yeah, oh man, this has definitely been one of the craziest weeks. I'm not even going to use the soundboard today, I don't think, because we have so much to talk about since the last time we were on about a week and a half ago. Since that week and a half, Eric, we've had Tankgate 2020 or 2021. We've had the NBA hates the 76ers. We've had Doug Pederson being fired. We've had Carson Wentz being traded and not being traded all within like 48-hour period. We have no idea what's going on there.
You forgot to add that Doug Pearson felt safe before today.
Oh, that's great. We also have a Flyers hockey season that starts in 2 days. We are recording this on Monday night. The 76ers are on in the background right now. Getting excited for another week of Philadelphia sports with so much to talk about. So much. And
we should start with our viewers seeing something a little different. Kev has a headset on today.
Yeah, I want to look legit for the YouTube episode 46, episode 2 on our YouTube channel. I want to look official. And being that we are recording this on a Monday night, I do have a wife and a 2-year-old child who are currently above me, and my basement literally picks up every single noise. So get excited to hear. You know, it's only 2 minutes into the show, Carson making some noise.
Well, he's on our intro now, so you hear him every time we start the show.
Yeah, shout out to D. Whitty, who dropped another gem over the weekend, by the way, on iTunes.
Did he? I'm going to have to look that up. We have to have him on. We have to have him on just to talk about the intro.
Yeah, we will definitely have D. Whitty on at one point to talk about the intro. We may have our 76ers insider, my brother Brian. He may be stopping in as well. Sounds like he's going to be stopping by for the 76ers game tonight to talk some basketball, especially with what is going on in the NBA. Craziness.
The double standard.
Yeah, the double standard because the NBA hates the process.
Well, let's start with this, Kev. Let's start with, since we've been off, I guess, for a week and a half now, we didn't get to cover what you were calling Tankgate 2020.
Tankgate 2020. 2021. It is 2021.
Yeah, 2021.
Giants fans love us right now, by the way.
Which is funny in itself because they went 6-10. What they expect to make the playoffs?
Yeah, and just looking, did they think they had a chance against Tom Brady and the Bucs this weekend? I mean, the Bucs are on fire.
Hey, what? Washington looked good. That backup quarterback did pretty well.
Oh man, yeah.
Dwayne Haskins is not going to have a job anywhere. I don't think he's going to.
Dwayne Haskins is pretty much done at this point. But yes, Tankgate 2021. Shout out to Jim Schwartz, by the way. Jim Schwartz with his no hat rule, a man who has officially said he was not coming back with the Eagles prior to Tankgate 2021 because Jim Schwartz, like the rest of us, saw the writing on the wall. You said double standard for the NBA. There was a double standard last week in the Eagles versus Giants game when Jim Schwartz, and we laughed at it originally when he said there's a no hat rule in Lincoln Financial Field, where he was not going to let the Washington football team wear an NFC East champion hat out of the link on Sunday again. And the Eagles did that by tanking.
Yeah. It was a shame
And
too, because it's not like they played a bad game. They didn't play a great game.
guess who played the good game though?
The defense.
The defense played the game. The
Mhm.
defense stepped up for Jim Schwartz's final game, and the defense, just like Jim Schwartz, saw the writing on the wall. I'm sorry, but if you are going to go and throw a game like the Eagles did in Tankgate 2021, if you're going to go and throw that football game, Jalen Hurts should not have been your starting quarterback.
Yeah. Or he should have been taken out at halftime.
He should have been taken out at halftime. We knew that Nate Sudfeld was going to play for a few days prior to the game. That was no secret. Anyone on Twitter could have saw that Nate Sudfeld was going to play. But to put Nate Sudfeld in the game when you are down 3 is unacceptable.
I was watching it, and I think you told me, you're like, yep, Nate Sudfeld's coming in. And I was like, why?
I texted you prior to the game. I said, Eric, you better pick all the unders for Jalen Hurts today.
Oh, you were right.
Unders on the rushing yards, unders on the passing yards, because Nate Sudfeld's going to come in the game, and Hurts is not going to get that yardage. And I was absolutely correct, and I should have put it in the betting machine, and I did not.
Yeah, it was bad to watch. I when that happened, and this is why when Doug first said, "Oh, I feel like I'll be back next year. It's no worries. I think I'll have another season in me." And then he did that. If Jeffrey Lurie didn't let him go after that, it would have everyone would be laughing at him. And then it's funny because if you're out of the playoffs and the end of the year game, people are like, "Oh, put in your young players." But like we said earlier, you should have done that at halftime. You should have started with them. You don't do that in the fourth quarter when Jalen Hurts has kept him in the game with his legs in that point. But what are you doing? It doesn't make sense. And it's the reason he's gone. That's part of the reason he's gone.
It's definitely part of the reason he's gone. That game plan, the fact that he couldn't transition in games. And let's be honest, you and I have both said it throughout this entire football season. This season is not completely on Doug Pederson. This season is not completely on Carson Wentz. However, when you fail to adapt to the game plan, when you fail to adapt and make changes at halftime, it looks bad on you as a head coach, unwilling to make any changes going into the second half. Carson is playing with cars upstairs. That is what you're hearing on the other end. But it is unacceptable to go in every single game and not make halftime adjustments. And that's exactly what Doug Pederson did throughout the season this year. It's exactly what he did. And he deserved to be fired, just like I said, throughout the entire season. But he had too many talking heads. There were too many cooks in the kitchen for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. And they were letting go coach after coach. Schwartz is gone. Morningwing's gone. There are many coaches who are now gone, even though we're smarter than everybody else. We don't need an offensive coordinator. You obviously did. Offensive coordinators actually work in the NFL. What you decide to do to take over this staff. And when I say you, I am talking to Howard Roseman, and I am talking to Jeffrey Lurie.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense to get rid of one and not get rid of both, because you're just going to have the same thing with a different coach.
It's unacceptable, and the fact that you're putting us in cap hell for the next season isn't going to look good either. Mm-hmm. So Jeffrey Lurie continuing this transition of power and continuing to give Howie the trust, I don't get it, especially when all you did was second guess Doug Pederson, and all you did was continue to put talking heads around him and not let him, coach. You hired all these other pieces thinking we are smarter than everybody else.
Well, let me ask you this. It wasn't Doug's idea not to have an offensive coordinator. He wasn't in that talking about that.
I'm in my mind.
I asked you this because we had what I called a troll after he wrote on Instagram today. Our good friend Nick, who was on our WrestleMania podcast, saying that it shouldn't have been Doug, it should have been Howie. And I think it should be both. You think it should be both. But he brings up the point saying there's no offensive coordinator and we're in a COVID year. How do you fire Doug? So my question to you was, because I brought you up on the thing and I said, hey, you should ask Kev if it was Howie's idea or Doug's idea.
Kev's Instagram has been deleted for a few days now, so I apologize for not getting back to the
That's why I'm bringing it up
on the Instagram. I believe that from day one, what the Eagles want is a yes man. And think of it going this way: who'd they hire first, Jim Schwartz or Doug Pederson? They hired Jim Schwartz
I was
first.
going to say,
They hired Jim Schwartz first, which tells you that all they were looking for was a man to say yes and consistently say yes to their idea of what a football team is going to look like on the field. And that is what they did with Doug Pederson. They hired Doug Pederson because he was closely associated with Andy Reid. It is not like you don't have to be a genius to figure that out. But you also had a man that would continue to say yes to the organization because they're giving him a chance as a head coach. So when you're going to start as a yes man and your coaching career is going to continue on and progress and you win a Super Bowl and you're like, okay, I won a Super Bowl. Now I'm going to keep the same players around, which was a dumb idea, by the way. They should have let go some of those players. Howard Roseman said that after they won the Super Bowl. We can't be complacent. We need to make some changes. He said it after they won the Super Bowl. All right. But yet we're still going to have the yes man mentality. And the yes man mentality is only going to take you so far until that yes man is so frustrated, so out of it that he wants to leave and he is okay with leaving. Yep. Doug Pederson wasn't upset that he was fired from the Philadelphia Eagles today.
Yeah, do you have the quote on you? Or no, that was from Jeffrey.
I do not have it currently on me right now, but Doug Pederson reached out to a number of people, said, one being Derek Gunn, no worries, I'm at peace with it.
No, I think he kind of knew. So he had full intentions of coming back, and I think he did. But he had to somewhat know once he got another call like, hey, we're meeting.
Well, and there were a lot of reports, there were a lot of rumors coming out, and this is the organizational failure. I believe Al Morganti put it out there like the team is being run like a 7th grade lunchroom. Have you ever met 7th graders? That's not a good thing.
No.
Al Morganti put it out there that you have to think that the Eagles releasing information, and this is Howard Roseman continually releasing this information. I mean, Orlando Scandrick was right.
Yeah, and it's a shame.
He's a rat.
It's a
Chip
shame.
Kelly was right. You have all of these guys saying how much of a rat that Howard Roseman is, to the point where now we're going to start to believe these guys that we hated before. But now we're finally seeing it. We're finally seeing the fact that this man is a rat and he's releasing this information.
Right, and it's not just him though. It's not just Chip Kelly. It's not just Orlando Scandrick. You had Malcolm Jenkins. You had Nigel Bradham. You had Rasul Douglas. You had Sidney. You had all these people saying once they left the locker room, they were saying it is a toxic environment, and they weren't talking about the locker room. They were talking about the general manager.
And Orlando Scandrick called him out by name. I believe Malcolm Jenkins did as well. Called him out by name. The general manager being a rat and being a weasel.
Says he doesn't value his players.
Absolutely not. So it was released into the press that Roseman was not in the meeting with Lurie and Pederson. But the one reason why Lurie made this decision was because Pederson offered Press Taylor as the offensive coordinator to Jeffrey Lurie, who was not impressed by that suggestion. So
I don't think many people were.
Well, and the other point was pushed through. Coaches have tried to get through to Doug to not die on that Press Taylor hill, which did not work. Press Taylor, who saw 2 of his quarterbacks regress this year.
So here's what I'm thinking.
You
think Jalen Hurts regressed?
When they figured out a game plan against him.
I
When the
guess that's true.
Dallas Cowboys and the Washington football team found a game plan against him, he regressed.
That's fair. Here's my question to you: is now does this take away from the Carson Wentz drama? Because
No, this adds to it.
you think it adds to it?
I want to get there too. I do want to get there.
Well, let's go there. Let's go there right now. We'll come back to the head coaching job because we're.
Well, I want to give Doug's quote.
Okay.
Can I give Doug's quote?
Yes,
it's a long quote.
All right.
Well, that's Jeffrey Lurie's first.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's Jeffrey Lurie.
Here's Doug's. It's been an absolute honor serving as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. As difficult as it is to say goodbye, I will always look back on my time here with appreciation and respect. Thank you to Jeffrey Lurie for the opportunity, and to Howard, it's not Howard, it's just Howie, Roseman, and Don Smolensky for their partnership and support over the last 5 seasons. To all the coaches, players, and staff, thank you for believing in me and allowing me to lead us on this journey. The memories we made here together will always have a special place in my heart. To the city of Philadelphia, thank you for embracing me and this team. I truly appreciate that passion you bring every single day, at home, on the road, and in the community. No matter what, you were always right there with us. Although I am disappointed that this chapter of my career has come to an end, I'm extremely proud of what we accomplished together. Through all the ups and downs, one thing remained constant about our team: an unwavering commitment to battle through adversity and to achieve our goals, not only as individuals, but as a collective unit. I'll give him that, by the way. There is no better example of that than when we celebrate the first Super Bowl championship in Eagles history together with our city. That is a memory we will cherish forever. Doug Pederson.
That's a classy response.
Very classy response. Once again, going into it now, like you said, does this add to Carson Wentz drama? And it definitely does.
I thought it would take away from it.
Well, I was originally thinking that, okay, Carson Wentz is now definitely back, that they're going to hire a coach that will work with Carson Wentz and will allow him to grow as a player. I am now taken back of that after the Jeffrey Lurie press conference.
Okay, I didn't watch that. So
because Jeffrey Lurie stated basically that that they're kind of like rebuilding at this point. They're looking for the future success of the team. And when I think of a future success of a team, I am not thinking about a 28-year-old quarterback. Okay. So
the quarterbacks can last in this league till they're 43. That's Tom Brady.
I agree with you, but at the same time, I don't know if Carson Wentz is going to be the quarterback of the future at this point. I originally thought it was going to be Doug versus Carson, per my tweet last night. That has since changed.
All right.
By far, that has since changed.
Well, that means they're probably not going to go for Watson either, because that was a rumor as well.
Yeah, the Deshaun Watson thing is that's done. That won't happen.
No, he's probably going to go to Miami.
Yeah.
I still think Carson's back next year, and this is why. It's because I think Pederson's gone, and I think honestly, Jeffrey Lurie thought that was the problem. And I think he's going to give Carson one more year to prove that last year was a fluke and it was coaching, and that if he proves himself, then he'll continue to keep him on the team. Because it wouldn't make sense to get rid of him because of the contract. I still agree with that. I'm not a Carson Wentz supporter like you are, Ket, but that contract is so damaging to the salary cap. It wouldn't make sense. I would pay him to sit on the sideline.
So are all the other stupid decisions Howie Roseman has made.
Right. Well, at least Alshon Jeffrey and Malik Jackson restructured theirs to hit less when they get rid of them.
When they get rid of them, and it will be happening this year.
Right.
Yes. It will definitely get rid of them. There was a lot out there today against Doug Pederson, against Jeffrey Lurie as well. Rob Mattier posted a question earlier to Jeffrey Lurie about potentially looking at hiring a minority candidate.
Yeah, why was that a question?
So it can make the press.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. You're literally saying that to get following. Because it doesn't matter the race. That shouldn't be an issue.
Dude, you and I are completely on the same page. However, it does become an issue when you have overlooked Deuce Staley as an offensive coordinator in the past season.
No, I understand that.
So in my mind, it looks bad on the organization. And this is the only reason why I think Rob Maillet's question is a good one, because the Eagles have failed to hire a minority candidate in
That's
a
fair.
offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator position, and really skipped over the whole idea of Deuce Staley as the offensive coordinator, even though Deuce Staley is one of the names that Jeffrey Lurie did bring up as someone who will get an interview for the head coaching job.
Right, and the reason I'm stating why does it matter, because it shouldn't matter the race of the man or woman. It should just matter their ability to coach.
Yeah, the ability to coach and the ability to lead men, not only football players, but a coaching staff to a victory.
Right.
That is something that is huge to the success of any sports program out there.
And to be honest, Deuce Staley, if you read what players, former and present, say about him, he does have that attribute. Malcolm Jenkins put out a quote saying, "Hey, I'm happy where I am, but another time, another life, I would love to play for Deuce Staley." He put that out today.
He did put that out right before the press conference of Jeffrey Lurie.
Right. Well, here are your candidates, Kev. I'm going to butcher some names here, just so you know. But
so you're going to pull in me. Perfect.
Yeah, Deuce Staley was the first one on there. I think it's just because
Deuce Staley deserves every right to be interviewed for the head coaching job.
Right.
And at least have a chance at a head coaching job. Deuce Staley also deserves that chance elsewhere.
Right. Then you have Brian DeBole from Buffalo. It was either defensive coordinator. Was that him? I don't remember.
So to me, I don't see Howie going
defensive minded.
Defensive minded. He has not gone defensive minded. Really, I can't even think of a defensive minded head coach that he hired.
Right.
So
the third one on there.
Kelly was offense.
Right. The third one on there is Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma. I say knock that off the list. I don't want any college coaches right now. Right now, I don't. In the future, maybe, but right now, we're still stained from Chip Kelly coming from college. So it's like, do you really want another college coach at this point?
What was that name?
What?
Lincoln Riley?
Lincoln Riley, yeah, from Oklahoma.
From Oklahoma. Who else? Yeah. Which player played?
Jalen Hurts. We get it.
Oh, okay. So think of it that way. If Lincoln Riley is a candidate, Jalen Hurts is your quarterback.
Okay.
Just like Marcus Mariota with Chip Kelly, that direction that you were going to go down.
You're thinking. You look at you.
I think sometimes.
So we got a big list here. You got the two coaches from Kansas City who are said to go everywhere this offseason. Arthur Smith from Tennessee. You got two coaches from the Ravens. Joe Brady. I heard a lot of people want him. Jim Caldwell. He's not coming back. I don't think that's going to happen. And interesting, the last one on here, which I find very interesting for the work he's done in Tampa Bay, is Byron Leftwich. Why? He is a way better coach than he was player. He has done so much for that Tampa offense.
Are you going to say the same thing with Mike Kafka?
I mean, maybe.
Who is a quarterback's coach, by the way. Mike Kafka is the quarterback's coach.
Oh, okay.
He's not an offensive coordinator.
No, that's
quarterback
Eric
coach in Kansas City.
No, Eric Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy is the offensive coordinator.
Yes.
He is the hot name everywhere. But Mike Kafka is the name that was specifically mentioned today via Philadelphia Eagles Twitter beat writers.
Well, I still go with I think Byron Leftwich is an interesting name to throw out. And I personally think, if not head coach, you could bring him in to be your offensive coordinator.
That's great. That's Byron Leftwich working with Tom Brady in a explosive offense down in Tampa Bay. And
he worked with Ryan Fitzpatrick too.
And Mike Kafka is doing a tremendous job coaching Patrick
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Got it.
Like, I get it. You want an Andy Reid guy, and this is the Jeffrey Lurie intake is he wants an Andy Reid coaching tree guy, mainly because he wants Andy Reid. Let's be honest. He wants Andy Reid back. And Doug Pederson was not Andy Reid.
I'm going to die on the Byron Leftwich hill.
And
anyone watching this, follow me up the hill because I think that's your next offensive coordinator.
Great quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That is not the
Byron
point. He is a coach now. He ran good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's doing a great job with some explosive players down in Tampa Bay.
He did a good job with Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick before Tom Brady came.
Yeah, Jameis Winston did a great job throwing X amount of interceptions with X amount of touchdowns.
It's interceptions. It's the quarterback on that, but the play calling was good.
Oh,
I think you should be hired. Leave Tampa, come to Philly.
Leaving Tampa. Okay. All right. I'm looking at someone. I would prefer a defensive-minded coach right now. Change things up based on your last three hires. And your last three hires were Andy Reid, Chip Kelly, and Doug Pederson. And you're going to go in and you're going to die on the hill of Howie Roseman being part of this coaching search. I don't let Howie Roseman hire my coach.
No.
Especially if he hires a defensive coordinator first. Could you imagine if he does that again?
What, a defensive coordinator?
Yep.
All these people are offensive coordinators or offensive-minded people on this list. Is there any defensive people?
Because Jeffrey Lurie loves offense.
Yeah.
Did he hire Ray Rhodes? Because Ray Rhodes would have been the last defensive coach that they've hired, right?
Yeah.
Because Ray Rhodes was right before the Andy Reid era. So if
Howie wasn't around then.
He may have been. He said he hired a black coach in the press conference today. The only one I could think of is Ray Rhodes.
He could have met any coach.
He could have. Could have. Howie's good at winning Grammys too, apparently.
I think Deuce gets a good look.
I think Deuce definitely gets a good look. It's offensive minded. It changed things up. But
he's got the respect of the team already too.
I love Deuce. I just don't know right now and the only reason I don't know right now is because you didn't give him a shot as an offensive coordinator. That's it. Deuce Staley has proved to me that he can progress his running backs, and he's done a great job progressing running backs, even these no-name guys over the past 5, 6 years, 7 years. Even under Chip Kelly, he progressed these running backs, but they never gave him an opportunity to, be the head coach of a football or be an offensive coordinator of a football team and call plays. You gave Press Taylor more opportunity than you did Deuce Staley.
You got Deuce head coach, Byron Leftwich offense coordinator. Done. I'll put $5 on that right now.
You're putting $5 down on that right now.
I'm dying on the Leftwich hill.
As the offensive coordinator.
Yes.
You think that Byron Leftwich comes over to Philadelphia to the same job he has in Tampa Bay?
He's not off. Is he? I thought he was a quarterback coach.
See, this is where you don't do your research.
I didn't even see him on the list earlier. That's why I didn't do it. When I saw it, I was like, hey.
You were the one who was just telling me that Byron Leftwich was the offensive coordinator.
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth.
We can rewind the YouTube video.
He is the offensive coordinator. He is. Okay.
So you're going to have him come to Philadelphia with an equal job that he had in Tampa Bay with a less talented team.
Yes, because he wants to build it. No, it could be reverse. I think it's a good idea. Everyone every one of our listeners is probably gonna say shut up. It's like stop talking.
They probably told you to shut up about 5 minutes ago. Oh man. Sorry, I'm looking at the Sixers starters and questioning my decision to start this podcast right now. during this Sixers game. Should be an exciting game. Are you even there? Are you frozen?
I'm here. Sorry.
Eric just wants me to talk today.
Sorry, I got a funny text from our good buddy Doug. He meant to text his wife, and it got sent to me.
Be careful. Watch out.
It made me laugh.
So Pat Egan put out a funny tweet earlier today. It was basically Phans versus the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Phans. So Howie should Eagles. Jim Schwartz is leaving. That's great, but we've let go Morningweg and Scangarello. Oh, once again, the issue is how Pederson is gone. The issue is Howie. Perfect. It's nice. Perfect summary of what's going on. And now, the longest tenured coach in Philadelphia,
Alevino.
Please Google Jim Curtin there.
Right, Jim Curtin. Sorry.
You're welcome. Union. Doop 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 doop.
I didn't think you were gonna add him in. God forbid! I thought you were not gonna add him in.
Shout out to Ed for that tweet, by the way.
He had a longer tenure than Doug Pederson already.
Shout out to Buzzkill Ed for that one.
You're a buzzkill.
I killed your buzz there, I think.
Well, you never really talk about the Union, so why should I think that?
Doop 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 doop. I always talk the Union. Always.
So
I'm the number one supporter of the Philadelphia Union.
Right. So this is going to go on. It's going to go on all summer with what's going to happen in Philly. I mean, probably till the spring, I should say. They'll probably hire a coach by then.
There's going to be so much drama over the next few weeks when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles organization.
Friggin' buckle in, my friends.
Yeah, get the popcorn ready, as Terrell Owens once said.
Maybe some waters. My goodness, I don't know what to think.
It's definitely going to be a show for sure.
Let's move to a brighter and more fun topic, Kev. The shirt you're wearing.
You want us to go to the Sixers?
I do.
You just said that's brighter and more fun.
Besides what just happened, before that.
Before the fact that the NBA hates the process.
Right. So we'll get into that. But right now, besides that game, which they put a great effort in, by the way.
Covered the 14.5-point spread.
They did cover the spread.
With what, 7 players and a guy off the injury list?
Who said that good teams win, but great teams cover the spread?
That would be Brian Key, who I don't know if he's here yet. I'm waiting for Brian Key to get here.
That's hilarious. But yeah, that was a shame. So they played with 7 players, as everyone knows. They lost by what, 12?
They lost by 13, I believe.
13. The spread was actually 19, wasn't it?
Spread was 14.5, I believe.
I thought it was 19. Anyway, but I mean, they played their tails off, and
they definitely did. And
we saw the Maxey is legit.
Yeah, I'm getting my number 0 jersey soon, I think. The one issue that I've said for the 76ers this year has been the back-to-back games, and the fact that they need that lack of rest is definitely affecting the 76ers. It showed last week against the Nets. And I know the Nets are depleted. I know they didn't have KD. I know they didn't have Kyrie, who once again, I'm going to get to that situation later on.
Mike, he doesn't want to play anymore?
Well, because Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers were fined because Ben Simmons wasn't put on an injury list prior to the game on Saturday. Yet, Kyrie Irving could just say, oh, okay, I have personal reasons. I'm not going to show up to the game and be okay.
Kyrie said he doesn't want to play basketball anymore because it's no longer fun. That's what you're dealing with, that. So we can move on from that. That's not a professional athlete. Get him out here.
We'll talk Kyrie. We'll talk Kyrie.
But yeah, the Sixers were on a tear. They're doing well. They're what, 7-2?
Yeah. So yeah.
And then they had that skid where it happens. You know, it's not even a skid. It's a game. It's a game.
It's not a skid. It's not a skid when one of your players tests positive for COVID-19 and most of your team is out.
Right.
against
So wrong
a good team on Saturday.
terminology.
It's
It
not a
wasn't a
skit.
skit. It was a fluke. It was something that you know was going to happen during basketball or hockey or anything in COVID season. So it is what it is.
So they lost 2 games in a row. They're still in first place in the East. I guess it's the East.
Right, but we're going to go into a double standard, right? That's what we're going to go into right now, right?
Yeah, we're going to go into the double standard. I did want to talk about Joel Embiid shortly. With the Sixers just blowing out these teams and getting the rest, and here comes my Sixers guy coming down the steps right now. With the Sixers being able to blow out these teams, there he is. You're giving Joel Embiid the proper rest that he needs.
He showed up at the perfect time.
Yes, he did. He showed up at the perfect time. So I'm getting rid of the headphones. The headphones are gone now.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't echo on the mic.
The headphones are gone. Brian, welcome. We're talking Philadelphia 76ers. We're talking about the proper rest that Joel Embiid is getting with these blowout wins.
Brian is he's our anonymous source because the mic is blocking his face.
Now we want to talk about the double standard that the NBA has set. So allowing the Philadelphia 76ers to play on Saturday with seven players?
Well, they had Mike Scott as active just so that you need 8 players to be able to play a game active. So basically we only had a 7-man rotation on Saturday still because Mike Scott's still injured.
And earlier before you came down, I read your quote aloud, which was awesome. That good teams win and great teams cover the spread.
Oh yeah.
That was great. That was a great quote. I'll say that forever now.
I mean, what was it? Tyrese Maxey with 39 points, and then I think Isaiah Joe had 13. He was the next highest.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was really a breakout game. I mean, he had no other option.
Oh yeah.
But,
Yeah.
So Kev, going to your double standard. I want you to just rant.
Yeah, well, I mean, Boston and the Miami Heat, Boston Celtics, Miami Heat were postponed on Sunday night. You know, the day after the Sixers had to play and put Mike Scott as an active player, they allowed the Boston Celtics and Miami Heat game to be postponed on Sunday. Because, the Celtics only had 8 healthy players?
Yep.
So they decided to postpone that game. Then again today, there is another game in the NBA that was postponed. All right, the Dallas Mavericks game versus the Pelicans has been postponed tonight, according to ESPN, because the Dallas Mavericks only have 8 players.
I think it was less than 8 actually. I'm pretty sure.
This was a Woj bomb.
I
think he said less than 8 though after that tweet.
I didn't want to read the rest of the tweets.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
I believe that the NBA hates the Sixers.
Well, this happened in the NFL as well. So there was games pushed back to further weeks, and then as my neighbor talks about all the time, so happy the Browns won yesterday. By the way.
Oh yeah, so am I. I was saying all day after that the Browns are beating the Steelers, and everybody's like, "Oh no, Steelers." No.
Oh man, they blew them out. But the same thing happened with the Steelers Ravens. They got pushed back. They didn't. It wasn't the same as the Sixers having to play the same day, but they got pushed back a day, and then another day, and then 2 days, and then played with less play. The Ravens played with less players and lost. So it's kind of the same. Whereas other NFL teams got postponed to future weeks. So it happened in the NFL too. So there's no consistency, and there's not going to be consistency. And yes, it's the Sixers, and I get it, but there's not going to be consistency.
Yeah, but the second half of the season, I don't even think they made it so it's flexible so that if they did need to postpone games, they'd be able to play in the second half.
Well, then I don't know what they're doing then.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that they weren't postponing the Sixers game on Saturday is a joke. Was it on national TV?
The Nets game was the Nuggets
Sixers
game was.
were on NBA TV on Saturday. That's what it was.
That's right.
So the fact that they weren't postponing that game was an absolute joke. And now there's another double standard, as I mentioned a little bit ago, with Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers now being fined because they ruled Ben Simmons out of the game on Saturday without putting him on the injured player list.
Yeah, that's
prior to the game.
Fined
So he fined them
$25,000.
$25K.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Daryl Morey just likes getting fined, apparently.
Well, I mean, that's no money off him, but
I mean, not to knock Kyrie or anything, but he's out for personal reasons.
I know that's what Kev said.
That's okay, but I mean,
Kyrie, I was telling, like I was saying to Kev, Kyrie, for him to say that the game's not fun for him anymore, he doesn't want to play in the NBA, basically, is annoying, to say the least.
Yeah, he wants to start his own league.
Yeah.
We're going to call it the Flat Earth Association League.
Well, he came out and said that he doesn't believe that stuff.
Yeah, he did. Come on. I was just telling Kevin that earlier.
I'm still going to talk about World Be Flat, okay? I'm allowed to talk about World Be Flat.
So, yeah, so, I mean, the Sixers are looking great, and they got screwed out of this game. That's basically what happened.
Yeah. Well, they were in it the first half, which, I mean, I was watching it on my phone. I was actually up at Jim Thorpe on a hike, so like I was like here and there watching it. I didn't really have great reception, but first half they were in it.
Shouldn't bring your phone on a hike. You're one with nature.
It was actually it was the way back, so I wasn't on the hike. It was
we're
driving
a Philadelphia sports podcast. He has access to the Twitter page, and he's in the theme song. He has to watch it all the time.
All right.
Shout out D Witty.
So, Kev, what do you think? What do you think about what's going on right now? I'm not watching TV's behind me. But
this is obviously not a live this is not a live broadcast of the podcast.
I know.
Sixers just tipped off. They're up 4-2.
They're
tied 4-4 now. Atlanta just scored. So if you want to rewind and listen to the podcast,
it's like New Year's Eve. It's like
ahead.
watching movies on New Year's Eve. If you want to time it perfectly, you have to start it at this point.
Yeah.
If you want to time out the snap,
it's
good to go. We're ready to go.
Well, what are you predicting tonight?
Joel Embiid 40+ point game. It's what it should be with the guys out there that we have. And Tyrese Maxey, I can see him having 20+, obviously.
So you still get your Sixers insider and prediction while the game just started, Kev.
Yeah.
And they've got a back-to-back.
That's how good he is.
Well, they have the Heat tomorrow, and the Heat are apparently down a lot of players as well.
Yeah, they're down Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, I think I saw.
Oh, man.
And it sounds like Ben Simmons is returning on Tuesday against the Heat.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, that's what I saw on a report earlier today. So it does sound like Ben Simmons is returning to Tuesday versus the Heat as they play the Heat in back-to-back games this week. And they've got the Grizzlies on Saturday and the Thunder on Sunday. These back-to-backs, as I said, are killer for the Sixers, but we'll see what happens.
Especially with this COVID situation they've got going.
Yeah, I don't get this schedule. How you schedule back-to-backs with this pandemic going on, it doesn't really make sense.
Well, they're not the only league to do that.
I know, and the same thing's gonna happen when it comes to the NHL. Same thing's gonna happen. So scheduling the back-to-backs isn't really the best decision when it comes to this middle of the pandemic, but hopefully we start seeing some changes and things get fixed.
Well, let's move over to let's transition to the NHL now, Kev, since we're talking about it.
So you're fully on to the basketball game now.
I am fully, commercial right now, but I'm fully onto it.
I should probably put the headphones back
I was
on.
just about fully onto it already while talking, but yeah, now I'm fully on it.
I should put the headphones back on.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, I'll listen. Don't matter.
But I'm excited for Wednesday. Is it confirmed? Is it now confirmed that they will be playing on Wednesday, or is that still up in the air? Because with the Penguins having a cautionary cancellation.
I'm sure it's still up in the air. I mean, the Penguins who take out money from the government.
I could not believe that. It is meant for small businesses, and they took out money. Are you kidding me?
So they can enjoy questioning if they're going to play on Wednesday.
God, nothing good comes from Pittsburgh. I'm so happy the Browns won. God, I hope Ben retires.
There was a lot that happened. A couple names that were placed on the waivers earlier on Monday. I guess it was Monday afternoon at this point.
Yeah.
I don't even know what time it is. Alex Lyon and Sam Warren were both placed on waivers earlier today.
It's not a surprise.
As well as another huge list of players.
It's
but
not a
Warren
surprise.
and Lyon are the two big ones.
So they have to pass through waivers. Yeah, they're not off the team, obviously. But with the taxi team, like the taxiing, it's odd. They still might play. They still might be called up. We don't know. We don't even know if the AHL's having a season. One. So where are they on waivers, or is it like a two-way contract? Do you know that, Kev?
It just Flyers tweeted out 7 hours ago that they were placed on waivers. I don't know what the new COVID rules are.
That's a good question. I wonder if they just go through waivers and they're just on like a practice squad almost, like football.
And the one thing that confuses me is you have this huge press conference for Sam Warren, and you announce in a press conference that he's moving to wing, and then all of a sudden you put him on waivers. Then what was the point of having Sam Warren in the press conference with you?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, there's a lot.
Why not just run it at practice?
There's a lot of young talent on this team, though, and I guess they wanted to give him a chance. And I mean, it is a defender moving to a wing spot, so it is news. It's not just like random.
Yeah, but you don't need the player to be in the press conference with you. Just let him go. Let him go do stuff.
Yeah,
let him go hit people like he did in the game on Monday.
The inter squad scrimmage where he's hitting Sanheim into the boards. I'm like, what are you doing?
That might be why he was placed on waivers earlier.
Well, I mean, Michael Raffle high stick Zane Wisdom. Like, what are you doing? He made the squad, by the way. He wasn't put on waivers or anything. I don't know if he got sent to juniors or back to college. I think he's on the squad, which is cool because I think he's a good player.
Yeah. And how about the big name was Nolan Patrick putting up a goal on Sunday night, which is thank goodness.
Yeah, it's good to see him back. It's good to see Limbaum back with some time to get back in the hockey shape. I mean, he was in shape, obviously coming back, but he was not in hockey shape, and you could tell even in the inter squad game he was skating stronger. So it's nice to see him back. I mean, freaking Scott Lawton picked right back up. Kevin Hayes picked right back up. Like it's exciting to see these players in an inter squad game, and knowing Wednesday they're playing the Penguins.
Yeah, with Kenny Albert and Pierre Maguire on the call.
Yeah, Mike Milbury is off of NBC Sports. Completely.
Yes, saw that earlier as well.
Who is taking Bill Clement's spot?
That's definitely a good idea. We didn't even get to Bill Clement. We didn't even get to him at all today. We didn't even mention him in the introduction of things that happened over the past week and a half. No idea.
Great broadcaster. Happy retirement. That's all we wish for him. He made it to 70, went on his own terms, so good for him. And we'll miss him. He was a homer, definitely. But
definitely went out to retire doing things he loved, which is great, obviously.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they had Al Morgani and Taryn Hatcher doing the color, and it wasn't the same, number one, but I don't know who's going to replace him.
Well, Al always just seems so disinterested.
Yeah.
Like on the morning show, he's so disinterested with on WIP. In the post-game show, he seems disinterested. He always just seems like a disinteresting guy.
Yeah, and I mean, I read that Taryn Hatcher's doing the pre and post-game show.
Yeah, and they
with
did
Scott
release.
Hartnell.
Well, and they released other people. NBC Sports Philadelphia just letting people go that shouldn't be going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Taryn Hatcher's made a name for herself, so.
And the original thought was she was going.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But yeah, no, Wednesday
she's going to be overused.
Yeah, Wednesday I expect the Flyers to come out like ready to kill someone. And I say that because they were pissed. I still think they're pissed about losing to the Islanders in Game 7 last year. And
yeah, they're going to come out,
smoked.
especially with all the baloney Pittsburgh is putting out there.
Oh, my gosh.
So there is an official announcement today that the Flyers are officially playing an outdoor game.
Oh,
we
yeah.
knew this a few weeks ago. They're playing in Lake Tahoe on February 21st at 3 o'clock p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool game.
I'm excited.
Boston didn't want to.
It is
Wasn't there
on.
something
Oh, sorry.
Wasn't there something that Boston didn't
Brian's
want
adding
to?
his 2 cents. I didn't see that Boston didn't want to. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't want to.
Then my sister's a liar.
Well, Boston's got barely anyone on their roster right now. Everyone's hurt. I'm excited though. Do you know that's on a golf course? They're playing on a golf course.
I did.
Wait,
not
is that
know
really? Wow.
They're making the rink on the golf course, yeah. In Lake Tahoe. I love a good outdoor game. It's a shame no one's going to be there. It might make it better. Maybe they can get the cameras closer.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see them with no fans out in the middle of a golf course playing hockey.
I think they just have to build a rink. It's just if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Tiger Woods is going to show up. Phil Mickelson might make an appearance. Tee you off.
That's going to be fun. If I'm wrong and it's not on the golf course, then I think it is, though.
I would love for you to be wrong. I live off of you being wrong. It's my favorite thing. When Eric's wrong.
I expect the Flyers on Wednesday to win by like 3, though.
If my sister Kirsten actually listens to this podcast, please let me know if Eric's wrong because I'm in. I'm all in for it.
You know the thing on the Colin Coward show where it's like where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong. It's just where Eric was wrong, and then there's nothing for when he was correct.
No.
It's just when he was wrong.
There's nothing for when Kev's wrong either.
And it's where Eric was wrong, where Kevin was right.
Yeah.
Kevin's always right.
Well, Kev, what else? You got anything? We got a little union news.
Yeah, let's go with the union news. We're going to talk about, obviously, we're not going to do awards. We've gone pretty late already on the podcast, being a Monday night. And WWE is on in about 6 minutes while the Sixers are still on. But I do want to talk about things that are coming up, not only for the podcast, but big things all around. So go ahead, Eric.
All right. Well, Mark Mckenzie. Oh, my God. Mark Mckenzie. Homegrown player for the Union. Union got another nice transfer for him. 21 years old. He's going to KRC Ghent in Europe. So it's another Union homegrown player going over to Europe, which is big. That's a big thing for the MLS is these young players going over to Europe.
Eric, that's a great get.
I hate you. But yeah, so you already had Aronson go over. Now you have Mckenzie, and Union fans knew this was going to happen. So it's not a surprise. It's just cool for him, and we got some nice money for it in return. So some Union news.
Union news, great. The Phillies made a trade for somebody.
I know.
They made trades.
Yeah, another pitcher.
I guess things happen.
Yeah. No one cares about the Phillies right now.
Right now, definitely not.
Did you guys already talk about the new coaches for the Eagles?
Yeah, that was our
potentially
first
Vince Lombardi.
Yeah, Vince Lombardi.
He's going in the Lazarus pit to come back to life to coach the Eagles.
For those who don't know what the Lazarus
reference
is, look up Ra's al Ghul from Batman.
What a reference.
Right. John Madden's also interested.
No, at least he's still alive.
Yeah, he is. He is. He doesn't need to go through the Lazarus pit.
And this is the exciting analysis you get when Brian's watching the Sixers go through.
Kev, what's going on? What's coming up? Please, let's move on from that.
I'm currently in the process of building my own PC, so I'll have a pretty nice computer soon.
That's good. Mine's some big.
So once it's done, I expect to be on the podcast.
All right.
I think he wants to be on the podcast a lot more. Maybe he'll record, edit, and do things for us too.
That'd be impressive. You don't like my recording and editing? That's rude, Kev.
No, your editing was great.
You didn't even watch it.
I watched some of it.
I did watch it. It was good.
I enjoyed it.
I watched it on YouTube.
Yep. YouTube,
so
subscribe.
and Eric, let's be honest, and just quickly, since Brian brought up the Eagles, since we brought up the Phillies, I'm thinking that we're just living a repeated history thing going on right now with the Eagles, where the problem with the Phillies, Gabe Kapler was a problem a few years ago, but we all know the big problem is general manager. Are we looking at the same thing? Is this history repeating itself in Philadelphia?
Why?
The answer?
Why? Because it happened with the Flyers too.
Well, it happened with the Flyers. It's happened with the Phillies. It's now happening with the Eagles, I believe, again.
Mm.
Howie Roseman needs to go, and Jeffrey Lurie continued to talk around it. Let's be honest. Talked around it all day throughout the entire interview today with the press. Entire press conference.
What? All right. That's fair. History can repeat itself. I'm still interested on what is coming up because you made a big fuss.
Yeah, well, I have a few things coming up myself in my personal life. On January 28th, I was invited on again.
Reinvited. They wanted you back.
Can you believe it?
I can't.
If you like my hot takes on Philadelphia sports, wait till you hear the hot takes on wrestling again.
We just lost our 5 listeners.
We lost so many listeners and viewers. I was invited onto the live show of the Rewind Wrestling podcast. Again, this is actually going to be a live show, which I don't know why Ted decided to give me a live mic, but hey, who knows what's going to happen when I talk wrestling on the 28th.
Don't get caught with a hot mic.
Oh man, I'll be on a hot mic. It should be interesting on the 28th.
Be prepared to censor that.
So make sure you listen. Make sure you follow the show on the live show on January 28th, the couple days before the Royal Rumble. Should be a good one. From what I'm hearing, that we are also going to be raising funds for a family who is suffering with a 2-year-old with leukemia. So it'd be great if we have listeners on to that show. Give the Rewind Wrestling podcast some love. And jump on and try to help out this family that's in need. It would be
definitely
be very important.
That's awesome. That's good to
Bring
hear.
the Philly and wrestling community together like it was made to be.
ECW. Got it.
So yeah, that was my news.
Oh, that's it?
Well, I mean, we are coming close. We're 3 episodes away from the exciting episode 50.
We're also 3 followers away on Instagram from 100.
So Eric, I think episode 50's we gotta bring in people.
Yeah.
I think we re-invite the man next to me on the podcast.
Well, he just shows up. So
I think
yeah.
I think we bring in another guest that we've had formerly. Maybe we re-invite Anthony Becht back on the podcast.
Oh.
That would be interesting.
A nice 50th.
On the 50th, get his take on the future hirings of the Philadelphia Eagles potentially.
Maybe teach him a thing or two about football. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he doesn't know a lot about football at all.
Yeah, his tweet the last time the Bucs were in the playoffs, he was on the field. I was like, yeah, we know. Make me feel like a jerk. All right.
So maybe we'll do it up on the 50th anniversary show, 50th episode show, not
50th episode. Can you believe it? 3 episodes away from 50, Kev. We started this in March, doing 1 episode a week with a couple of bonus episodes sprinkled in there, kind of like a funfetti cake. And now we're at 50, and we actually still have people that are listening to us.
Yeah, I can't believe people are actually listening. And
I think we have more. We have more. And now we have watchers. We have almost 100 views. I can't believe it. I know that's not a lot, but who cares?
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of viewers. So we have a lot coming up, a lot to get excited for. Maybe a logo change?
It's in the works.
Logo changes.
Alternate logo.
Alternate logo. Instead of the Philly 5.
Don't mess with my
we'll add a new logo in there.
Don't mess with my hard work, Brian.
No, never.
Hard work and dedication, always repping. Eric, speaking about always repping, where can our great listeners and viewers get this wonderful hat of mine, as well as all the other gear the Philly Fans has to offer?
Literally just ordered joggers from our site. They're coming in this week. They're comfy as heck. Yes, I did, Kev. I didn't curse because I know you hate it.
Yeah, but I'm wondering how you know they're comfy if you haven't worn them yet.
Because I've ordered from the company that makes them, and I have another pair of joggers.
Oh.
This one just has a different logo. Anyway.
All right, so where can they find these joggers?
So you can find actually all our links on our link tree that's on every single one of our platforms except YouTube.
It's not on YouTube.
Not yet. Working on
Get
it.
on that. You can
YouTube's-
email Eric.
YouTube's new.
ThePhillyFans@gmail.com.
ThePhillyFans@gmail.com. You have a question? You want to be on the show? Let us know.
Well, we might say yes. We'll probably say no. Who knows?
But yeah, Kev, where can you find us since we're everywhere?
Of course, you can find us everywhere at The Philly Fans. That's PHANS for fans. Just
It's on
like
your hat.
Phillies. It's on my hat. It's on. You found us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube, wherever you find podcasts. Obviously, you can find us at The Philly Fans, and we are at The Philly Fans Podcast on Facebook.
Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, rate. Do everything with your fingers.
Yeah, give us that
These
5-star
things.
review. You okay
Yeah,
with the fingers?
yeah. Seriously though, you bring
look
up
like
a good.
John Cena then for a second.
Hey. You bring up a good point, Kev. If you do have a question that you'd like us to answer, or if you just have a question or a comment about the show, please do email us. That's thephillyfans@gmail.com. Give us a question. We'll answer them on the show. And if it's good enough, we'll have you on the show.
That sounds tremendous. Well, Eric, that's the end of our podcast. Hope everyone enjoyed listening. As always, we got to give a Let's Go Flyers and a Let's Go Sixers
That's
to
right.
end our podcast. This is Kevin,
And Eric.
and we are signing off.
I still make it up.